Welcome everyone to our Talladega race recap, race 2 of the round of 12 for the Fast Racing Leagues Cup Series. Let's get started with our opening lap of action. Jessica Shelton, Randall Coleman on the front row, teammates there. Then you see their teammate Corbin Huffman on row 2 with Trey Coleman, a Alliance member to the outside. The green flag waves. We're underway racing here at Talladega. You see that outside line gets a better push to start. Some great shots here from our cameras. Remember, we're going to be getting new cameras, new updates to our broadcasting equipment in the next week or so. But you see the field rolling by, thundering by. It was a crazy race at Talladega last night. A lot of drivers upset after the race. There was a lot of things that happened during the race that went wrong, and that's what we're going to be taking you through tonight. But you see side-by-side action down the backstretch. Not a lot of jostling. Everyone's staying in line for the most part. This bottom line is not going to be right down on that double yellow. You want to run up a little bit higher. You get more grip in the tires, get more speed. You see the cars roaring off of turn 4 as they're coming through the tri oval to complete lap 1. But everyone was going to be very close throughout the race. 20 cars, 20 drivers to take this race. We'll move on to our first incident of the day next. You see more of the field, but lap 12, our first incident of the day, it's going to involve a lot of playoff contenders. Here you see Darren Ingram, John Peterson make contact. You see they collect Cam Barnes, one of the guys on the outside looking in. Randall Coleman around towards the back. See a lot of the chase guys towards the bottom. Sean Whitehill, myself. There you see Tommy Bordeaux, Trey Coleman, Mikey Murata. Here's the Cheez-It. Menard's on board with Sean. You're going to see the incident right up to the right-hand side of your screen. 40 cars going to make contact with the back bumper of the 24. See the 3 of Bill Murnahan shooting through the gap to make sure he didn't get involved in that incident, but tough break there for these guys. One more shot from the helicopter cam. This will show you a great view of that outside line. Watch the 40 and 24. They're going to make contact. That's what's going to set this whole thing off. Sends the 40 into the wall. And that makes everything happen there. Lap 20 now, our second incident of the day. It's going to be a big hit for the 3 of Bill Murnahan here. The car, something breaks on the car, just right into that wall, right where you don't want it to hit. Tough break for Bill, that beautiful 3 black and camo machine here. You see the tree timber on board with him. And just the car goes left. Don't know if it was a left front wheel fail, but tough hits there. Driver was able to get out of that okay. Lap 21, we're under caution here down on pit road. This is a big moment for the 12 team and the 24 team is Sean Whitehill and Darren Ingram respectively. Darren coming out of his pit box runs right through the back bumper of the 12. That causes damage to the 12 car. Rear end damage that ended up affecting his car and the rest of his race. He was down on power towards the end there. Here you see a really weird incident here. The 88 of Corbin Huffman loses connection to the server. But his car continues to stay on track. There you see it's just going to push this 70 car, John Foreman, all the way around on his side. It's still going. The green flag conditions still out here because they're down on the apron. Foreman's still going, getting taken for a ride off the front end of the 88 of Corbin Huffman, or the computer, or whatever's left of that 88 car. 88 disappears, sends the 70 up the track. That's going to cause a caution. No one else, thankfully, involved in this incident here with the 88's internet going out on him. Don't know what happened there. Still unclear. Here you see the helmet cam with Foreman, the University of Michigan helmet cam. Just gets hit, and then this is the ride of a lifetime here. I can't even think what's going through your head at this point when you're just getting pushed on your side. And there's nothing you can do because that 88 car, there's nothing he can do because he's not even in the server anymore for the game. But tough break there for the 70 and the 88. Corbin ended up not getting any damage since he fell out. But 70's day was done after this incident. There you see him flipping and flipping, getting really dizzy there. Car finally comes to a stop here on the apron. Moving on to lap 42, we're going to see the same thing again. The internet on the 88 car, it's going to send him to go just take a hook left, drops out, then the car takes over itself. He collects the 14. More calamity towards the back, but you're going to see it here. This 88 car is just going to suddenly disappear as it comes down to pit road. Or you don't see it, but here you see Contact with the 14, sends the 14 up into the track. Ryan Pace, Sean Whitehill barely avoiding him. Tyler Stallhood nowhere to go. You see the 21 of Mikey Murata is sent around. Here you see what happens to Mikey. He checks up for the wreck, but it doesn't seem like the 27 sees the same thing happening. Runs right into the back of a playoff contender. Mikey sent around, almost gets hit by the 14. On the rebound, lap 48, our last incident of the day. It's going to be for Joseph Weaver in the JTN car, of course. Throwing some more action out here. Was hot on the bumper, the 24, made a bump, and then it sent the car right, and then left, and then overcorrect back to the right, hits the wall, collects the 22 of Ryan Pace. That 22 car now off pace for the rest of the race after that. You see the 9 car also getting some damage, the 12 avoiding it. But a tough break for all of those drivers. 3 laps to go. We're going to take you through the last 3 laps of this race because they were very exciting here. There's the 3 to go. Trey Coleman, Darren Ingram, 1 and 2. Teammates John Peterson, 3rd. The 40 car, though, is going to get moved to the back of the field most likely after this race for not claiming the first incident. There you see Tommy Bordeaux and the TWE Technologies 57 and Joe and me on the inside trying to get something to work, try to get up there to pass those Chevys, those top 3 Chevys. Garrett Sidner currently running 4th here. But Trey Coleman's got Darren right on his bumper, a guy that he knows is not going to make any rash moves that'll wreck the 2 of them, take their chances away. John Peterson here in this Wilcom Fiber Chevy Camaro for DCR as well. There you see the inside line now getting some momentum. A lot of blocking, a lot of jostling here throughout this race. Not a lot of guys not happy, like I mentioned earlier, about that. But there you see they continue to drive, and those 2 Chevys out front. You're going to hear from them. You're doing a great job keeping it together. This 24 Darren Ingram, though, trying to find a way around Trey Coleman as they go down the backstretch. And as they continue to go down the backstretch, you see again that inside outside from those top 2. They're clear of everyone, and that helps them try to maybe make a pass on these guys as we're coming to the white flag this time by, and it's going to get really hectic here for the end of the race. White knuckle racing here for all these drivers. You know, you're gripping the wheel so hard at this point, trying not to make a mistake. You see everyone's the outside line, the inside line, 2 cars left, holding decently steady inside the top 5. White flags in the air. I'm going to see if Darren Ingram can try to make a pass on Trey Coleman. Continue to drive here. I don't know if it's going to happen because there's just not enough momentum coming from those back cars. 24 looks high. You know, watch him. He goes low behind and looks a little bit higher. There's fanning out all down the backstretch. Goes low to block the 16 or to make a pass. Whichever one you want to say. Looks low. You see the 57 and the 2 getting a big head of steam coming through here, but that's not going to be enough. You see Trey Coleman out in front. No runs coming. The 57 looks to the inside of the 16 for 3rd. The 1 car blinks out for a second. Scary moment there. 24 right behind him as they come across the line. Trey Coleman will win at Talladega. Darren Ingram 2nd. A battle for 3rd that Garrett Sidner gets in a wreck after the finish. Did Joe down in victory lane. Thanks, Joe. Post-race here with our winner down in victory lane, Trey Coleman, driver of the number 1 Monster Energy Craftsman Chevy Camaro ZL1 LE for DeMario Chambers Racing. Congratulations, Trey, on your win. It must feel good to definitely be moving on to that round of 8.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. It's a relief that number 1 Monster Energy Craftsman Camaro was great today. And it was really great to work with some of my teammates like Darren Ingram, Cam Barnes, Randall Coleman, Jessica Shelton with some help there at the end. But this thing was flying around. I hung in the back for a little bit because I knew we were going to have a couple wrecks, and we had that freak accident with Corbin Huffman and John Foreman, and I do not know what happened there, but I know they had to do some figuring out with that. I know it forced Corbin to retire a little bit early as well as John Foreman, so I feel really bad for them. But I think it was a pretty great race all in all. It was super hectic there at the end, and I'm really glad I was able to keep it out front.
Yeah, you talked about staying at the back through the early portions of the race. Was that just a combination of strategy and maybe a bad pit stop, or I assumed you qualified up front because that 1 Chevy's been fast all week, but I didn't get a great look at the starting order. Was that your strategy from the get-go to stay towards the back for the first half of the race, and then second half it was go time?
Yeah, we qualified P4 in the number one machine, and I knew that I didn't want to be up there as soon as I got about lap 2 or 3, and I saw everyone's kind of jumpy up here trying to figure out where they want to go. So let me just head to the back and stick back there for about half the race. I knew when we got a caution a little bit later, when I think the Tanner Weaver spun around, Joseph Weaver spun around, I knew it was time for us to just stay at the front and get back up there.
Yeah, and talk about too. You said teammates, and a lot of the drivers after the race, they were talking about the 24 car Darren Ingram. What does it mean to have a guy like Darren who is known to be really aggressive at these tracks, knowing that he's going to be pushing you, whether it be to a win or just loyal to your back bumper at these restrictor plate races?
Well, I think it's great. Darren's a really great guy. I enjoy racing with him on the racetrack. But it was really great. I know that he's going to stick with me. I know it doesn't really help other drivers in the field so much, but I know our Rev affiliated, so CCR affiliated squad is always going to stick together. And I really appreciated the help. I think it was really important today.
Yeah, and what do you think going into this next round? We got New Hampshire next week, and then Rockingham. What is the expectation for this one team right now with all the momentum you guys have?
Just retaining the speed. I mean, this is our fourth top three finish, and this is our second win in 4 races, which is unbelievable. I didn't see that coming at all, but I think just retaining the momentum, going to New Hampshire. It's not one of my best tracks, but I know we ran it in the USRL campaign, which JTN's broadcasting. They're broadcasting the USRL campaign, but we ran it earlier in the season. I ran pretty well. I know a lot of the Rev guys did as well. So really just sticking around in New Hampshire, and then what was that other track again? My apologies.
Rockingham.
Rockingham. Yeah, Rockingham. Not my favorite track, but I think just retaining the momentum, keeping in practice, and just making sure we can qualify up front.
And before we let you go, thank your sponsors. This is your moment.
Yep. So I'd like to thank Monster Energy, Craftsman, Haas CNC, Daniels Amigos, the Black Lives Matter movement. Of course, we're still sporting them on the rear bumper. Really important cause there. I'd like to thank Demario Chambers, team owner, Randall Coleman as well. Darren Ingram, Cam Barnes, John Peterson, of course, Jessica Shelton, Randall Coleman, and a lot of the guys we work with today.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Trey, for joining us. Congratulations on your win. Good luck in the next round. That was Trey Coleman, driver, the number 1 Monster Energy Craftsman Chevy Camaro ZL1 LE for DeMario Chambers Racing. We'll move on to our next interview. Thanks, Joe. We're live down here on pit road with second place finisher Darren Ingram, driver, the number 24 Exalta Chevy Camaro ZL1 LE for Revolution Motorsports. Congratulations on your second place finish, Darren.
Thank you. Feels good. It's always nice to finish up front.
Yeah, so we just got finished talking with Trey, and he credited a lot of the race to having really good teammates, especially, naming you. What is it, what is the benefit to having that strong relationship with another driver out there on the track?
It's always nice these plate tracks because a lot of it's not really so much you individually. It's what the luck you get with the runs and having teammates out there, guys that they're gonna race successfully at these plate races. They're gonna follow you, give each other runs, and it eases your mind a lot and it makes it a lot easier to have good runs. And the Rev guys, we always try to stick together. A lot of our guys were like on the playoff bubble, so we were gonna come in and help each other out if we could.
And what would go into determining, you say you help each other if you could. Is that just based off of where you're running on track, qualifying, where your pit stalls are on pit road, or is it just kind of a wait and see approach to that?
It just kind of depends on how the race is going. We're not Ferrari out here. There's not team orders. If when we get down to it, we're going to try to put each other. We want as many of our cars up front as possible, and after that, go race each other cleanly for the win. And I definitely made a move on Trey when we got to the white flag coming out of 4. I made a move to try to pass him. I wasn't going to wreck him. I wasn't going to do anything to make sure that one of our Rev DCR cars didn't get the victory. But I definitely wanted to win. So it's just you go with the flow of the race. I mean, Trey had just taken the lead for me before that last yellow came out, and sure enough, that was the move for the win right there because he led the rest of the way. So it just kind of depends on how the race is going.
Yeah, and one more quick question. A lot of the guys, we race with here, they know you as a guy that's going to be really aggressive up on that steering wheel throughout the race. What how do you determine how aggressive to be in certain situations, and what do you think about, some guys that maybe say you're over aggressive?
Well, I try not to make a move unless I'm sure it's gonna stick. So and I feel like especially this season I've done a lot better job across with that across multiple leagues, and I'm definitely gonna go for it. I'm not gonna sit back and just let somebody have something, especially in the second half or the closing stages of the race. So if there I might pull a move that looks really aggressive, but ultimately I've got faith in myself and my talent level to pull it off. And I mean, I made a couple of moves tonight to get the lead, and they worked. No, didn't wreck anybody, so ultimately, as long as I believe as I can safely pull off a move, I'm going to go for it, whether it looks aggressive or not, whether people say it's too aggressive or not, because I mean, you're not going to win by lollygagging around. You got to go for it. So if there's a hole there that I feel is reasonably safe to go after, I think if I can pull a move off, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, and thanks for answering that, because I know that was a little more hard hitting than what we usually do here at JTN. But before we let you go, any sponsors, anyone you want to thank?
Of course, Exalta. They're out there every week on my car in almost every league. Um, Hooters, Napa, all those guys, all the Rev guys those partners that we've always had. They'll be back again for another season next season on us. So we're gonna keep trying to represent them well. I hate that we got knocked out of the playoffs, especially with a really fast winning car. It really in both of the races in the first round, but I'm gonna go out there and try to win every week. See if I can finish off the season with a couple more W's.
Yeah, and good luck the next 3 races. We got 3 races left here to the end of the season. That was Darren Ingram, driver of the number 24 Exalta Chevy Camaro ZL1 LE for Revolution Motorsports. And Joe, we're sending it down to you for our next interview. All right, here post race for our last interview. Unfortunately, the driver of the number 16 Garrett Sidner and his Crunchyroll Ford Mustang had to be taken to the infield care center for hydration, but that's okay. We got the next best thing, or as I like to say, the best thing on the grid. Mr. Tommy Bordeaux, driver of the number 57 TWB Technologies, TWB.com, Toyota Camry for prime time racing. Thanks, Tommy, for taking the time to do a quick interview with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Joe. Always good to be in the JTN booth. I appreciate the acclaim that you've given me, and I'm really excited to move on to the round of 8. That was a really fun time at Talladega tonight. Pretty crazy, pretty wild, but we had a great race, and I'm really excited to see what we can do to get ourselves in the championship 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna, herald your 4th place finish here tonight. Tell you, oh, you did a great job, because that 57 car, it was fast. It was all the way at the back, and you made it all the way up towards the front. What did you need there at the end to kind of maybe make a move for the win?
Well, I want to say this TRB Technologies Toyota Camry was bad fast. I knew it was going to be quick when I was running, even in practice. I mean, it's just this car was flying. Basically, our race went as planned. We wanted to start up front and lead a lap. We did exactly that, and we just kind of hung out for the rest of the race in the back until the end. And we just kind of ran out of steam coming out of 4. Really, I mean, we almost had it. It was just we had to make a few positions up on the bottom line, and yeah, once we got up to where we were, it kind of ran out of momentum there. But pretty impressive race for this team. Really excited to come away with Talladega with a clean car.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw who was behind you at the end there, but I'm pretty sure he's also standing down here on the grid in his fire suit doing an interview with you. But nonetheless, you talked about, you got to go out and try to make this Final Four, this Championship 4. What are you going to have to do the next 2 weeks at New Hampshire and Rockingham to get that done?
Well, really gonna have to capitalize on a good finish in New Hampshire. It's a track that I've pretty much always done well at, and I know I can do well there. I can win there. Um, just having a good points day is really what it's going to come down to. A lot of great drivers in this round of 8, including you, of course, Joe, and I appreciate the pushes on the bottom line tonight. But yeah, just gotta have good points days. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think once we get to the Final Four, we can talk championship. But for now, let's make it to that next round.
Yeah, and before we let you go, Tommy, we're going to make this one short. Here's the time to do what you do so well. Go ahead and thank your sponsors.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you to TWB.com, TWB Technologies, all the folks there. JTN, of course, for putting on this fantastic race recap, and you for providing me a great avenue for broadcasting. And go check out TommyBordeaux.com on the web, best website in the world.
And that TommyBordeaux.com is a great website. And you can also join him, as well as myself, Saturday night, 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the United States Online Racing League's race at Watkins Glen, where Tommy's going to provide you with some great insight because he is a Grade A road racer. This was our interview with fourth place finisher Tommy Bordeaux, driver of the number 57 TWB Technologies, TWB.com, Toyota Camry for primetime racing. Now back to you, Joe, in the studio. Thanks, Joe, for all those great interviews you conduct every week. And now we're looking at our playoff bracket. There you see Brandon Hawken, Trey Coleman, Ryan Pace, all are going to have bonus points going into the next round. Then it's Randall Coleman, Tommy Bordeaux, Garrett Sidner, Mikey Murata, and myself, Joe Twansky, advancing on to the round of 8 next week at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Eliminated from the round of 12, Corbin Huffman, John Foreman, Cam Barnes, and Sean Whitehill. Tough breaks for all those drivers, but you see Brandon Hawkins got that 20-point lead. He cannot miss another race. After missing the race at Talladega, you're only allowed to miss one during the playoffs and to make it to the next round. So if he misses a race, he would lose his eligibility there. But that 20 points is a lot of points for only 2 races, so he should be almost a lock for the round of 4 with a good finish at New Hampshire. Trey Coleman with those 6 bonus points should be pretty good. Ryan Pace has got a little bit, but 4 is not going to be enough if something bad happens at one of these races. And then it's going to be a gaggle for that. It's going to be a crazy run for these last 4 positions. We're so happy that you're going to be joining us for these race recaps throughout the rest of the season. But we've seen this field narrow down from 16 to 12 to 8, and it just keeps getting more and more competitive with these drivers. A couple highlights. There are currently 2 Chevys and 4 Fords and 2 Toyotas in the round of 8. 3-team Twansky for Garrett Sidner and his team. And then Randall Coleman for Revolution, Trey Coleman for DCR, and then Brandon Hawken and Tommy Bordeaux for Prime Time Racing in the round of 8, going into New Hampshire Motor Speedway next Wednesday night. For all of us here at JTN, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. We appreciate it. Go like our Facebook page. We'll see you Saturday night for the United States Online Racing League race at the Watkins Glen Motor Speedway for the opening of their round of 8 for their playoffs there. And for all of us at JTN, thank you so much. I'm Joe Twansky, and we will see you guys in the next video. Spread love, give love, have love in your heart, and make sure you're being the best person that you possibly can be. See you next time, guys.